I keep seeing on social media and hearing in conversations, what about the people that didn't have insurance? And this is a valid question. I thought, today on Recharging with Champions, we are talking all about natural disaster and how it affects home ownership. And this is definitely a way that it affects home ownership. Because if you don't know, flood insurance is not typically covered in an insurance policy unless you add flood insurance to the policy. It's not required unless you're in a 100-year flood zone, which means if you have had a flood in that area in the last 100 years, you will have to have flood insurance. However, if you have not, which a lot of these houses probably and businesses have not been in a flood zone in the last 100 years, they are not required to have flood insurance. So we probably are going to see a lot of these people that do not have flood insurance that were affected by the flood. So, a couple of things to note. One is once FEMA goes out and designates an area as a disaster area, that does open up funds that can come from the government to help rebuild that community. But there is a difference between having flood insurance and FEMA coming in and giving grants and help for rebuilding houses and businesses. The biggest difference is that homeowners insurance is supposed to get you back to the way you were before the disaster, right? That's the idea. You see the commercials. But like it never happened is the idea. I don't know if it's quite that simple, but you get the idea. Whereas FEMA comes in and what they're giving is the bare minimum just to get you back to a livable habitat. We're not going back to the way it was beforehand. This is the same for businesses. It is helpful. And if you are in a disaster area, there are possibilities for grants and help through FEMA, but it is definitely not the same as having homeowners insurance with a flood policy. So, with that being said, I know that all of our hearts are breaking. So, I just have one little soapbox that I'm going to stand on. This isn't about marketing, but I know that our hearts are bleeding and we want to help those that need this help because there's a lot of human beings that's lives were forever altered by this storm. If you want to give, please make sure you are giving to a reputable company. Unfortunately, there are some people that will take advantage, they will scam, and they will do very bad things with your money, especially because they see that we're bleeding hearts and we just want to help. Make sure that when you are giving money, you're giving it to a reputable charity, a reputable fund that you know is getting it back to the communities and back to the people that really need the help. That's my soapbox today. It doesn't have much to do about marketing, but I know as I am thinking, how can I help? How can I give? How can I do something for the people that are affected by this so severely? I also want to just remind everybody, be careful where you donate. Donate, give with a big heart, but make sure it's getting to the right people. We'll see you tomorrow in Recharging with Champions. Make sure that you are getting that word out there, letting people know what to expect when it comes to real estate and natural disaster.